Xali promises to be Australia's first training, dietary and wellness program to cater to women going through biological changes with a focus on perimenopause and menopause itself. For more on this, I'm joined by Bono. Welcome to Ticker Insight. How are you today?
I'm great. Thank you very much for having me.
No worries at all. Now, this is something that isn't always talked about, so I'm really excited to get into it. Can you tell us what inspired you to create Xali?
Yeah, I was a personal trainer for over 20 years, and I had a lot of experience of changing people's body and making them feel better. And I had an app that did a great job. And then I started going through hormonal changes and my whole world fell apart. I couldn't hold a meeting together. I was having hot flushes. I wasn't me anymore. So I realized I needed to evolve. And in that realization, I realized every woman that was going to go through this change was going to feel exactly the same. So creating Xali meant I could address the fact that we are emotional beings. So we need to be respected that way. So before working out, we want to know, how do we want to feel? So that was the first part of the platform that I commissioned to be built. And then knowledge. Knowledge is power. Once we understood what's going on in our body, then we could actually support it. And then the next thing was connecting with other like-minded women. You know, we're all going to go through this change. And at the moment, the taboo and the stigma is so bad, I want to break it wide open.
Fantastic stuff from you. I love that. So you recently commissioned some research into attitudes towards menopause. Can you tell us a little bit about the findings? You mentioned there a bit of stigma and, misunderstanding as well.
Yeah, it's actually pretty crappy research. It shows that 64% of women who experience these symptoms from perimenopause and menopause, they don't seek help, which is really sad. And 21% of women just think it's part of getting older. Worse than that, only 4% of women in our research showed that they talked to their partner, their male partner specifically. And that's really sad, because going through it myself, I know it's been really important to have the support of my husband, my children, my co-workers and my friends, because if you don't have that support, you feel isolated and there's something wrong with you. In fact, it used to be viewed as a disease. So it's time we changed that.
Absolutely. And I can remember my mother talking me through what she was going through, and I just found it so fascinating and bizarre. And I was just like, I will never understand this. So I appreciate this discussion and unpacking it further and getting rid of the taboo about it. So have you found there's still a stigma, I suppose, when it comes to speaking about menopause and perimenopause as well?
Absolutely. The first thing I want to
Right.
say is your mum's amazing, because the fact that she discussed it with you was incredible. Most of the people that I talked to, their parents, including mine, never spoke about it. I just thought that my
Right.
mum had turned into this crazy, moody person that I didn't recognize anymore. But what our findings show is that although 90% of Australian women claim to know what menopause is, when they were asked to define it, over half of them did it incorrectly. And I think that's down to the fact that we're not supposed to talk about it. It's not something that's cool, and it's certainly not something that women want to be associated with at this time. So perimenopause, 38% of people knew about it, only 38%, and they still didn't know what that involved. So by breaking up the taboo and the stigma, we can actually allow all of the women to move forward into a place where they feel proud. This is the evolution that we were always designed to take. So let's step up and make women feel supported, but also educate our young, educate our children, just like your mother did, so that all the boys, all the girls, they know what's going to happen to the aunts, the uncles, the mums, everything. Not the uncles.
Yeah, and unless you're having those communications, how are you supposed to know? But let's talk a little bit about, and just to finish, what is unique about Xali, and where can people find out more?
Okay, so it's online, www.xali.com.au. But the biggest thing that's different about Xali is it works on emotion. So as you go into the platform that we've built from scratch, You go in and you are asked how you want to feel. Post-COVID and with hormonal issues going on, I feel this is very important. And then you get a tailor-made offering up for your workout, depending on how you want to feel, and the same for your recipes. Plus, you've got all of the knowledge, and we are building a tribe of women so that we feel safe, heard, and happy to talk about this.
And as we know, Naz, it takes a village sometimes. So thank you so much for joining us on the program and unpacking more about this subject. I think it's important it becomes more mainstream, more discussions. Let's get it out there.
Thank you so much.